Today I want to share with you 4 powerful ways to improve your body language, which will help you to influence other people, be a better negotiator, and be able to show empathy, all of which will help you to be a better communicator. And being a better communicator will help you in every situation of life, whether interviewing for a job, giving a TED Talk, writing an article, making a video, or selling any idea you believe in. So before we get started, only a small percentage of people that watch my videos are actually subscribed. So if you end up liking this video, consider subscribing. It's free and you can always change your mind. So let's dive right in with body language because it lies at the root of all human communication. You see, anytime you're communicating with other people, your body can be an effective tool for adding emphasis, clarity, and feeling to your words. You see, body gestures are also our most powerful instrument for conveying our confidence levels, mindset, and the message we want to convey because 93% of all communication takes place non-verbally. Have you ever heard of the rule of 738-55? Science has proven that only 7% of all our communication is done through verbal communication, the words we speak, whereas the nonverbal component of our daily communication, such as the tonality of our voice, make up 38% and 55% just from our body language and facial expressions alone. That's huge. So proper speaking posture, gestures, body movement, facial expression, and eye contact are the keys to a powerful personality for making a positive first impression on your audience, whether that's one person, 7, or an entire room full of people. So to begin building out your body language, maintain eye contact when speaking to your audience to capture their undivided attention and smile a lot. I'd like to smile a lot because it relaxes your audience and it reduces stress and tension so you don't feel so uptight when you're speaking. And when you're talking to someone, you don't want to get all fidgety with your fingers or twirl your, I don't have any hair, but twirl your hair because this distraction sends a message that you're bored or you're nervous or you're just really not interested in talking to that person. So anyways, use hand and arm gestures. I use them a lot because they catch the listener's attention and your hands are essentially an extension of your voice and natural hand movements will enhance your overall communication experience. And when other people are talking to you, you want to make sure that you're nodding and you're giving that acknowledgement that you're listening because that shows you understand. And when you understand, that builds rapport. Now, if you're making a presentation, you don't want to just sit there and talk. You want to be active. You want to walk over to the screen if there is one and point out things, like this. If I were to come back here and point this out, it draws your attention and this will force them to be more attentive. It will kind of just break their pattern from just watching you and they'll have to break away as you shift over here and they're going to be more attentive. And when they're more attentive, they're going to learn more. And that's the whole key of when you're trying to communicate and present to people, you want to convey your ideas so they learn more about them, whatever they are. And when you're speaking, you want to vary your tone of voice to reflect the material that you're talking about. You don't want to just speak in a monotone voice because whoever you're talking to, they'll just stop paying attention. If you notice, when I make videos, I vary my voice all over the place. Sometimes if I'm really trying to get in close and talk to you and connect with you, I'll soften my tone a little bit. Other times where I'm getting outrageous, I might raise my voice and my hands will go up. So, you might talk slower to emphasize your points. You might talk in a deeper voice to emphasize, other points, or you might talk louder, softer. Just let your material guide you naturally. I think the content of what you're saying will automatically kind of get registered in your mind and then it will come out in the right tone, though sometimes people don't always get that right. But most of the time, you'll instinctively change your tone to match your surroundings. Like, if you're expressing sadness to someone at a funeral, you'll naturally talk softer and slower. Okay, let's move on here to confidence building. And the cool thing about confidence is that half of it is built through your body language. And the other half comes from your experience and your familiarity with, whatever you're talking about. So many people feel like they need to find ways to build up their confidence. And people are always asking me, Don, how can I build up my confidence? But the thing is, your confidence is a culmination of all your past experiences coming together to drive you through an event. So if you're feeling a lack of confidence, then you're probably uncertain about whatever it is you want to talk about. And whether you feel, you have confidence or not, having confidence doesn't mean that you're going to be able to do everything. It just means that you trust your abilities. I mean, I could have confidence that, I could perform brain surgery, but all the confidence in the world isn't going to pull me through that event. But there are some things you can do to help yourself feel confident or maintain your confidence while you're speaking or you're talking to somebody, you're interviewing, negotiating, whatever. So the first thing that helps regulate your confidence is your body language, which we just discussed. But in addition to that, you need to control your breathing. And, for some of us, that means to actually breathe. So many people get so tight when they're communicating that they forget to breathe, or they'll just take really shallow breaths, hardly getting any oxygen in. But what you need to do is take deeper breaths in through the nose and out through your mouth. Now, obviously, you're not going to be taking big, deep breaths while you're talking to somebody, but you want to do those when you're not talking, because that's going to help regulate your body language, which is going to regulate your confidence while you're talking to somebody. And just doing this alone is going to release so much tension, but you don't want to wait for an event, where you need to speak before practicing, that breathing technique that Don talked about in that video. You want to do it every day. You want to do it while you're taking a walk, or, you're going to get the mail, you're driving to the grocery store. Just breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. And just do that for a few minutes, but practice it and just do it in non-critical times, so that, maybe, right before you have a meeting or you have a phone call with someone, you'll practice those breathing techniques and they'll be familiar to you. And you just do that for a few minutes and you'll feel relaxed. And when you do this, you'll naturally relax your shoulders, which releases tension. Now, before I make any of these videos, I always go through some breathing techniques just so I can relax all the tension that I feel, because I get nervous sometimes in front of this camera, and I want to present the more natural side of me, so you see the relaxed version of me instead of the one that's uptight. And in addition to building confidence, you want to take control of your negative thoughts, and don't think about them, because what they do is they erode your confidence. You want to have positive thoughts. Something as simple as imagining yourself having a wonderful conversation, with the hiring manager in a job interview, and then visualize everything going perfectly, and then, getting the job offer, or, whatever it is, whether it's a negotiation, see, both sides winning that negotiation, or maybe you're having a conversation with your manager about a raise, visualize, what that looks like when you're done, but get rid of the negative thoughts, because they're going to erode your confidence. And when you do all those little things of practicing mindfulness, that allow your mind to see it through, then you'll be very comfortable and confident. Okay? All right, the next one up here is empathy and getting along with others. You see, empathy is really just the ability to recognize emotions and share perspectives with other people. I mean, it's one of the 5 key components of emotional intelligence, and it helps us build trust and strengthen relationships. And it can also be referred to as the mechanism that allows people to understand and relate to others. I mean, empathy often encourages altruistic behavior, and empathy-based kindness has been shown to increase cooperation, forgiveness, strengthen relationships, decrease aggression and judgment, and even improve mental health and physical health. So it's important to practice empathy. And I say practice because if you don't do it consciously, you'll never do it subconsciously. Some people are just naturally empathetic, and for them, empathy is a subconscious behavior. And you probably know a few people like that. They're just, they really understand you all the time when they're talking to you. But for other people, it's a conscious behavior where they can turn it on and off like a light switch. I mean, I never used to be very good at empathy because in my early days, I just thought too much about myself. And I did a really poor job of showing others that I cared. It wasn't that I didn't care. I just did a poor job of showing it. I mean, you know what I mean? So today, I mean, it's almost a subconscious behavior for me, but it's taken a lot of practice over the years, and what it's done is really made me a more effective communicator. So, to help you better understand and interact with people in your life, make listening a priority. I mean, empathy begins when you set the intention of listening for emotion. Make an effort to notice the signals people are giving you because that can indicate, what and how they're feeling. And once you recognize emotion in another person, I mean, empathy puts you squarely in that person's shoes. I mean, empathy is not feeling what you would feel in that situation. It's stepping beside yourself and adopting your emotions for a few minutes. And make yourself vulnerable. When you share experiences of your own challenging emotions like, guilt, anxiety, and shame, I mean, you create opportunities for others to empathize with you. And being vulnerable strengthens your empathy. And when you practice body language, confidence, and empathy, you'll become influential. You see, influence involves building trust and getting people to align their views and values with yours. And when you look back on history, some of the worst people in this world were very influential, and they did horrible things with that power because they mastered these traits. And some of the best people in this world were very influential because they mastered these traits. And they did great things. So now that you know the secret to influence, go out there and use your newly found powers for good and do great things. And that, my friend, is all I have for you today. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you want to get notified every time I release a new video, please subscribe. And that's all I have for you. I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.